Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started on this tropic port aboard the island of Faroe. The director was a guy who was Swedish and did movies. The director, Marie Nyrod, they went around the island and he talked about his life and their clips of the movies involved. The weather never gets real rough, it's always pleasant there, and Bergman's in real good spirits except for the part where he almost cries about his mother. So here's a documentary about a guy who directed movies like Cries and Whispers, Autumn Sonata, Scenes from a Marriage, Fanny Alexander, Crisis and Torment, and The Seventh Seal and Wild Strawberries. Marie Nyrod's number 477, Bergman's Island! Yeah, I ain't got time to write a proper introduction. Hello there, CriterioNate here, number 477, Marie Nyrod's Bergman's Island. 2006, 83 color, black and white stereo, Swedish, blah, 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 blah. So, we've already seen this one. So I don't have much to say. This is going to be a very, very short review. Because it's included, at the time, this was it. However, a few years later, as I mentioned before, Criterion reissued The Seventh Seal on Blu-ray and the special edition DVD. They included Bergman's Island on the second disc, or Bergman Island on the second disc. So I've already talked about this, when I talked about the quote-unquote supplements. It wasn't until, much later after I did my review of The Seventh Seal that I realized, oh wait, Criterion initially issued this as its own separate spine number. So, like, crap. Well, I could have waited and did that much, much later, but oh well. Anyway, yeah, so it's an interesting documentary. It's about Bergman. He's on his island, the island of Faroe, which he lived on during the last few years of his life. He lived there, 2004 on or something like that, and he ended up, he's visiting with the filmmaker Marie Nyrod, who he shows her the island, and he talks about his films and talks about routines, and he talks about his demons and the demons he has and the demons he doesn't have. I think one of the things he says was he says he doesn't have the demon of creativity or something like that. It's an interesting little scene. But anyway, outside of that, yeah, again, there's really not much to say because I've already talked about it, and it's it shows clips from his movies, talks about the movies that scenes, and he brings up bits, and I think that the majority of the Bergman movies we've seen with the introductions are taken from the production of this documentary. When you see the car pull up into the cinema and he talks about the film and then he raises his hand and he's like, "Oh, start the thing," So I think a lot of those came from, because I think that is Marie Nyrod, but I can't remember. But anyway, Bergman, yeah. So this was his thing, and just basically just shows him where he lives and about his life. It's an interesting documentary. Mostly, it's just mostly the majority of the dialogue is all him, just him talking about his movies, talking about his life and his childhood, and how he always had a fascination with clocks, which is why he features clocks in a lot of his movies. He loves the sound of the ticking, such as in like Fanny and Alexander and other movies. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I'll leave it at that. It's an interesting documentary, especially if you love Ingmar Bergman. I would highly recommend picking this up. Or just get The Seventh Seal, and you'll have this as well, unless you really want this particular cover, which is, I think, honestly, a little lackluster if you, a bit lackluster, but what can you say? Yeah. Criterion didn't know what they were going to do. But anyway, so Bergman Island, does what it needs to do, and it's an interesting story. I think Bergman, for all that for everything that all my misgivings about Bergman, some movies he's done, not every movie he's done, I still think he's an interesting guy, and so his story is really, really neat. So I give him props. Ingmar Bergman's Island. Yeah, A. Good stuff. Supplements. There's just the supplements. The Peter Cowie. I don't care much for him. It's a Bergman 101. It's a selected filmography tracing Ingmar Bergman's career. So basically, just talking about his movies and stuff like that. So there you go. Anyway, so yeah, that's the movie, and yeah, so that's it for today. Tomorrow we're going with Renee, whatever it is. Last Year at Marienbad, which again, I gotta hold up. I don't know if you can even see it. Oh, there we go. If I hold it at the angle, you can kind of see the light shine. The title there, see that? Last Year at Marienbad by Alan Renas. Yeah. So that'll be tomorrow. And then Friday, we're going down for My Dinner with Andre. And then probably we're going to get to this weekend, The Human Condition. Oh boy. Yikes. I may have to split that one up into 2 parts. I'm not sure. It depends on I need to get the discs. I need to look at exactly how long it is, how they split up the movie. And so, yeah, we'll have to see. But that one's probably going to take about a week or 2, or like the whole weekend. I don't think I'm definitely probably not going to be able to watch all. I think it's 4 hours, or 8 hours or something 10 hours or something like that. God, but still, it's long. So anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. I guess if you're a Swedish film director and you want to retire, just move it. Find the island of Faro, because it's honestly a really pretty island, And yeah, go retire on the island of Faro if you're a Swedish film director. And yeah, so that's it for me. Thank you for watching. We'll see you all tomorrow for Last Year at Marienbad. And until then, goodbye.